This is Jared MacDonald. I'm with the Daily News here in Bowling Green. I guess just to start off, you guys now a week out from the scheduled opener. I guess, after the way things ended last year, having to go through all the training and stuff, probably changed up a little bit this winter and everything, fall. I guess how exciting is it to now just be a week out, have a schedule in place and being almost there?
Well, it's been a long time coming. Last year when we were on the bus going to UAB for our first conference series and had to get off the highway, turn around and come back. Little did we know the rest of the season would be canceled. Summer ball would be canceled. We practiced some in the fall. We had to shut down at a couple points, but it can't be here soon enough for this group, for these guys and for all of college baseball. We all miss the game that we love playing, and I know our student athletes are really excited about it. And and you can tell college baseball is here because obviously when the weather turns cold, it's here. So we're looking forward to next week.
Hey, Coach, it's been a long time since I've seen you last time, but it's good to see you. So hope everything's been going good. So my first question for you is, you guys are back now. Jared just started off with that, but what are your impressions of this group right now? I know that you guys have been out there practicing and playing some inter squad.
Well, first of all, good to see you guys, all you guys. And we're excited about this group. The thing about this group is we had, I believe there were 7 seniors that decided to come back. They got another year of eligibility. The one thing that you'll notice with the landscape across, college baseball is it's an older group because a lot of those guys that were seniors last year decided to come back. I think you're going to see a lot more parity across the board this year, and you'll see our team from an offensive standpoint. Our team is a experienced, high level guys that have been around for a while, and I certainly think that's going to play a part of what we're doing. And I'm excited for this group, the way they've worked, the way they've handled themselves on and off the field. And off the field is just as important, if not more important now than it ever was before, because of all the restrictions and the things we can and can't do. So it's great to have some senior leaders, and it's great to have those guys back in the program this year.
Coach, Casey Warner, InsideHilltopperSports.com. I noticed yesterday there was a prediction that came out in the Conference USA on their Twitter account that had you all 4th in the East. Does that motivate you all a little bit more or whatnot, or can you kind of talk about that?
Yeah, we really hadn't talked much about what the outside expectations are. We try to focus in on the internal expectations, and really at this point in time, nobody knows, who the best team is, and preseason predictions and awards. I think they're great, and they're great for players like Davis Sims, who was a preseason all-conference. But you have to go out and you got to prove it, and you got to do it on the field. And that's the thing that we focus in on. Whether we were picked 4th, last, 1st, it's not really going to change any of our preparation. What does motivate us is, where we want to go with this program and what we want to do. And obviously, our goals remain the same year in and year out, and this is no different this year.
Hey, Coach, this is Nick again. I was looking at the roster. I see that you guys got some new guys on there. I saw a guy named Ryan O'Connell. So how do you feel about those new guys that came on the roster? Because I saw him and I saw that he's from Bama. So
yeah, I think when you look at this group, like I mentioned, the seniors, the guys that have been around, you'll look at our lineup, and our lineup is a lot of returning, mostly all returning players from last year. And then we have, probably a couple of new guys. Jackson Gray from College of Depew can play right field. He can pitch for us. Certainly a guy that, will do a great job for us. On the mound, you mentioned Ryan O'Connell. Ryan is a right-handed pitcher, a transfer from Alabama, has tremendous pitchability. He's going to find his way, an opportunity to be in that rotation and pitch a lot of high impact innings for us, along with our returning guys, especially on the pitching staff. Michael Darrell Hicks, from South Warren High School, and Sean Bergeron, who did a great job for us last year. And, you have guys like Bailey Sutton and Jake Cates, guys that have been around that we feel all have the ability to go out and do a great job for us on the mound.
Hey, Coach, it's Joe Healy with Baseball America. I'm curious how you and your staff are approaching the idea of 4-game weekends with that doubleheader in terms of setting your pitching staff. What kinds of things are you guys thinking through, and how do you think you might approach that?
Yeah, and that's a great question, Joe. You know, we've had several discussions about it. It's interesting to see what the landscape across college baseball is. What we thought would happen, it appears like it's going to happen with most of these conferences that are going to 4 games on the weekend. We're limiting the midweek games. So there's a lot of midweek games that we've eliminated off our schedule just from the sake of playing 32 innings on a weekend versus, 3 nines in a Tuesday game. So that's going to change the way we practice, the way we prepare. Those Tuesdays are going to turn into probably inter squads and those type of things. But for the pitching staff, it's going to be interesting to see. I don't necessarily know we have the formula yet. I know we tried to schedule one weekend. We played Bowling Green State prior to conference play, and we've got 4 games scheduled for that weekend. So I think you're going to see it's going to be a work in progress. I think you're going to see a lot of different ideas. Do you use your guy that when in your 7-inning game? Do you use do you use an opener? Just how it all plays out. We haven't come up with that definitive answer yet. It remains a moving target at this point.
Hey, Coach, this is Jared again with the Daily News. One of the guys that you mentioned was Davis when you were talking about some of the preseason stuff, but he is a guy that has been named to a couple preseason watch lists or teams. Looking back to last year up until this point now, how have you seen his game grow and what kind of things do you think he's been working on?
Well, I think, when you look at Davis Sims, he obviously, has been a tremendous hitter in college baseball. He went up to the Cape Cod League and, did a great job up there. Unfortunately for him last year, he got hurt at a play at Vanderbilt, but has worked really hard and as his rehab. And, so like I mentioned, a lot of experience up and down the lineup. I look at, our defense, and Kevin Lambert's the anchor of that defense. In my opinion, the best defensive shortstop in our league. He can really defend, and he's our leader on the defense. But I think from a defensive standpoint, a lot of experience, up and down the lineup. I feel it's as talented and guys that can give us great quality at bats up and down the lineup. And then the biggest thing is the pitching staff is for us to have those guys. I feel like this is a group that's got talent and has ability. The opportunity now to go out and execute pitches, that's probably where it comes down to, obviously, for this pitching staff.
Coach, this is Nick again. And so you already were talking about the pitching staff some, and a guy like Daryl Hicks, he had his coming out party sort of after that surgery that he had and spending that time off. So how do you feel about your pitchers, like just overall? And do you have one guy that that you'll go to on that opening day?
Yeah, I think, we have a couple guys that we're looking at right now for opening day. Michael Daryl Hicks, Sean Bergeron, Ryan O'Connell. Those 3 guys are all guys that I feel can go out and, pitch very effectively opening weekend. In what order, it doesn't really matter. It's, more of how they get their work in, all the preparation work, pitch counts, so on and so forth, leading up to opening day. But, those 3 guys. And then we've got 3 guys, I think, that with Mason Vineyard, who's made a tremendous jump in the bullpen, Jake Cates, who's, he's got strikeout ability, and Bailey Sutton. So those 3 guys, certainly on the back end of games, I feel really good about where we're going with the pitching staff. So it's a good group. It's a great group to work with. They all work hard, and I know they're all anxious and excited to get going.
Coach, it's Casey Warner again with Inside Hilltopper Sports. You talk about how you all were on the bus last year when that season ended. Can you talk a little bit about what the mindset was when you all got back on campus and, what there was to work on? And with that, who were the guys that worked hardest in the offseason to get back to this season?
Casey, I'll tell you this. So we were on the bus, got off the bus, turned around, came back, and on the way back, this is how naive, I was to what COVID was. I said, okay, we're going to give them, we'll give them, this was a Thursday. I said, we'll give them Friday off and we'll start practicing again Saturday. Well, little did I know we would never practice again until the beginning of fall. I mean, nobody really knew what COVID was at this time and how it impacted all of us, all of our lives. And I think the biggest thing with this group is that, we stayed in touch, over the course, of the fall and the summer with Zoom calls and just trying to keep them engaged. And I think one of the biggest things that was important, as guys were isolated, they couldn't leave their homes, was Dwayne Hall, our strength and conditioning coach, did a tremendous job of keeping those guys motivated to lift whatever equipment they had. Some of them had equipment, some of them didn't, but created plans for each one of those guys to work hard. And I'd say that all of our guys did a great job in trying to make the best out of a very, very challenging situation. I never knew the impact that this would have. I saw what it did physically, but I never really understood the ramifications of COVID on the mental side of the game. Mentally, the toll that it took, these kids want to get out. They're 18 to 21, 22-year-olds, and here they are sheltered in their home. They can't go out, can't go see their friends. I can only imagine being that age and being in that situation, but I think they all did a great job. And now we hope that all the rules that we have in place with the mask and travel and eating and all, we hope they're all baked into the cake already, and we can just keep going forward, and we don't have to, continue to say, hey, do this or do that. I believe they all understand, where we are and what we need to do at this point. You guys good?
This is wait, I got one more for you.
Absolutely, Nick.
Cool. Sorry, I don't know if Jared does either, but possibly. So I just kind of wanted to talk about y'all's schedule. You talked about in the press release, talking about how you guys have a tough non-conference and just tough schedule overall. So out of that non-conference, who kind of stands out to you? Because I do see Vanderbilt on that schedule.
Yeah, what we tried to do was, this is an older group, and we wanted to make sure, every year we play a challenging non-conference schedule. This year, when I look at it, it's by far our toughest challenges. Open up obviously North Dakota State, Vanderbilt. You play Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and Louisville. All three Power 5 programs, all nationally ranked, tremendous programs, well coached. And then you throw in, Cincinnati. You throw in a series down at Tulane, and Tulane has, they're getting votes. They're in the possibly being a top 25. It's a challenging schedule, but when our players saw it, they were excited about it. I mean, in order for us to do what we want to do in Conference USA, we have to, play at a high level. And to do that, you have to prepare against some of the best. And I really like the challenges that our schedule presents to us.